welcome FlipClock fans. You're looking at a Copal model 705L. It came out in about 1974, and in advertisements of the day, it was listed at $49.95. And in today's dollars, that's about $261. So it was a high-end clock back in the day. As you can see, the clock features a metal case. It's a flip clock alarm. And here we have it in FlipClockFans Studios. And we're going to take a look at this clock. Feels nice and solid. It flips very well. You can see here we've got the alarm on and off. It's in the off position at this time. This would be a snooze button. This is the 24-hour version of the clock, and off to the left you can see the number imprinted there. That's probably the part number for the cabinet that we're looking at. Now you can see a seconds wheel, which makes this kind of unique, and back behind where the Copal symbol is, that's where you would see the motor. As you can see here, it's a black lit clock. What I've got is a bulb here that I was given by a member of FlipClockFans, and I'm going to use it as a tester. This is a black light. And as you can see, it lights it up like a Christmas tree. So the bulb that's in there is not working very well. With a working bulb, this would look great. Now the finish here, we've heard a lot of things online about what that is. Some people think it's copper plated or brass or bronze. But we're going to use our handy dandy voltage tester. We're going to use it in a mode for testing continuity. What that is if you touch these two leads together, you'll get a signal here. So we know that if you got a piece of metal and it's continuous, that you'll get it to alarm. Now if this were copper plated, it would be alarming at this time, and it's not. So it's not copper, and it's not bronze or brass. But you see there's two scratches here, and if I get to those two scratches, it alarms because it's aluminum. What this is bronze colored anodized aluminum. Anodizing is a process where it converts the top layer into the oxide. So in this case it's aluminum oxide. And aluminum oxide does not conduct electricity. So it's a bronze colored anodized aluminum cabinet. Very beautiful. It's a shimmering. It feels very substantial. So we're going to go ahead and take it apart because that's what we do here at FlipClockFans. This is a knob that has a band around it, a metal band. I don't like those much. This is a standard plastic one. The bands tend to rust and get really stuck. And we've got 4 screws, and cardinal rule of taking a clock apart is if you got screws, you probably have to take them off. So there's 4 screws. Now the screws on the end are smaller than the others, and they're holding the end pieces in place. And these end pieces are plastic, as you can see, and they weren't really made to come out, but there is a way to get them out. And there's no real secret. I think you just have to kind of work them out. There's 2 tabs. There's one on the top there, and in the front, and then there on the back. And if you look at the case here, the aluminum case, someone has milled in a divot there where those will catch. You still can't get the clock out. That cord, that's not going to come out until the mechanism comes free. So you say, well, that's holding it back, so that's going to have to come off. Before we do that, let's get into the other side, and we're in the same situation here. We're just going to work this back gently. The cabinet's not given at all, so it is pretty solid. It's pretty substantial. There's our switch for the alarm on and alarm off, and that's going to have to come out. Make it a lot easier to get this clock out without tearing something up. Well, there's 2 screws there that go into the mechanism. I've removed those, and we're going to let that just kind of hang loose. Now this button here, we're going to push from this side, from underneath here. There it went. And it's just simple plastic. Alright, so now we're ready to move this on out. The cord holder slides right out after we start moving it. Get a little resistance here, and we're going to have to take this little sleeve out, and then that button will push it down, and out it comes. Once you get that all squared away, it comes right out. So here's our front piece, slides right out. It's got a groove it's cut into, and that's actually plastic, just kind of glued into that front piece there. You see, it's pretty good solid aluminum. You could probably stand on it for a while anyway. Now we're going to go ahead and look at this mechanism a little bit. We've got these things on the bottom. Now one of these had come off previously, and I've glued it back on. This one came off just this time. And by the markings of the glue on the back of this little black thing, I can tell that it actually did go on here. You can see right there. This evidently just helps the clock sit in place. Now you see these two here, they've actually glued a washer on there. They glued that on there. It must have not been engineered exactly right, but that balanced it out evidently. That's all I can figure. Now the bulb you're looking at here, the part number on the bulb, which is kind of rubbed off, is NL80T8B. That is the exact bulb that is used in the Panasonic RC7462. You see it's working, but it's not working very well. Now at FlipClock fans, we're going to go ahead and try to find a different way to get that bulb replaced. So stay tuned, we're going to find a way to get that replaced. Because you just can't find that bulb anywhere. So here, we've got the alarm set. And then about 5 minutes later, the snooze button kicks back on again. And that's it. A shining example of an early flip clock, the Copal 705L. Thanks for watching.
When you get the time, come visit us at FlipClockFans.com.